What's up, YouTube? Welcome to the Counting Wisdom podcast. Our room in heaven is going to be amazing. Just think about how Jesus has been preparing a place for us. Sometimes when we imagine on this earth, our home, or maybe even a hotel or a cruise ship, and you can imagine the room that is in there, and it's just made just for you in a way, just for that guest, to have a cozy place to live. And so, I imagine that our home in heaven is just going to be so comforting, a refuge against all that we have gone through in this life. And we can find that comfort, that settling of our heart, that peace, that deep peace that I don't know if we can fully imagine here in this life, but, a real deep peace that we wouldn't necessarily worry about the things that we worry about now. And our concerns, will just melt away. And so heaven is going to be amazing. And, our room in heaven, I imagine that there's going to be a couch, a place to sit, a place to eat. We're going to have that. We know at least one food, two foods that are going to be in heaven. We have the manna. That Jesus said he has hidden manna. And then we also have the tree of life, which gives out 12 different types of fruits, I believe. Hopefully I'm not getting that wrong, but I believe there's 12 manners of fruits that bear from one tree, which we've never even seen before, a fruit that a tree that bears 12 different types of fruit. So, I do agree with the statement that, in heaven we are going to be somewhat of a vegetarian. I agree with that statement because I've heard the Bible does say that there is no more death in heaven. And so I don't think we'll be killing animals to eat them. I think we would be, a vegetarian. And I could imagine maybe it's something like, well-made food that is not necessarily on the same scale as this life's food. It's going to be so much more better. God's just going to probably make it to be, so much better. But anyway, we can only speculate, but we do have those two foods. So I imagine in our room in heaven, it's going to be spacious. Most likely it's not going to be like a tiny home that we see, even though I used to like tiny homes a lot more than I do today, but I can't imagine that we're all going to be cramped in heaven for all of eternity, No. And I think also we're going to have more than one home. I think we're going to live in the New Jerusalem. I doubt that we're really going to want to leave. But, we're going to have the whole universe to explore and to set our roots down in, and the family that we're going to be having in heaven. We're all going to be so close to each other. Can you imagine, going to a store or going to a building or a business in heaven, and you just know everyone there, and you're friends with everyone there, and you're closer than a friend. The friends that we sometimes make here on earth, we're not as close as maybe if you are as close with our close relationships would probably be either a mom or a dad or a husband or a wife, or maybe your kids. And so those are some of the closest relationships we have. And I think we're probably going to be even closer than that in heaven, especially just imagine, living for millions and billions of years. We're going to really know people, and it's like, it's not going to be the same as a stranger. There are going to be strangers for maybe a little bit in heaven, but as time passes on, we're going to really get to know people on a scale that, we haven't experienced. And I was trying to describe how, going to the grocery store, you inevitably see someone that you may not know, but yet, when we go and get food in the New Jerusalem and in heaven, we're going to be so close to people, and I think that's just going to be so amazing. Just imagine a place where God takes away our pain, God takes away our suffering, our sorrow, and our crying, and all those situations and things that happen that bring about crying and sorrow and suffering are going to be no more. And so we can't fully imagine it, but, at the same time, we're told that it's going to happen. I think in these end times, we do need to keep our mind on heaven, and that's what the Bible tells us to do. And so, I imagine that, it's going to be a beyond luxurious living. Sometimes in this life, we don't always get a chance to experience luxurious living on the scale of the super rich. But in heaven, we're going to be living in luxury. The whole city is made out of gold. The streets, usually streets, you use the simplest materials to make streets out of. When you make a street, a sidewalk to walk on, you don't use gold or silver. But see, in heaven, God uses gold to just pave even the streets that our feet walk on. And so just imagine, the even more important things than a street, maybe there's even building materials that we don't even know about. I think we're going to just be introduced to so many things that we don't even know about, and also just imagine getting to heaven and you can ask God or even an angel, all the questions that you would want to know. We see this played out in different movies where, someone, meets God or meets their creator or something, and, they have all these questions that they want to ask. Well, in reality, that's going to happen where we get to heaven, and I can't imagine getting to heaven and God saying, oh, you got to wait 1 billion years till I, tell you that answer. No, I mean, the question's like, where did God come from? Or God, how do you exist? What is your answer? He's going to answer that. I just highly doubt that's going to be a question that God's going to be like, oh no, I can't tell you, it's a secret. No, I don't imagine God doing that at all. And so, what else is, I imagine there's going to be some sort of transportation. A lot of people speculate that we will be able to fly in heaven. And, angels, we're told that angels, in the Bible, they're somewhat described as being able to fly. And so, I believe that we're going to have a body that is just beyond what we recognize here. I think we're still going to have the same facial structure. I think we're going to look the same, But I guess, if there's something that you don't like about your face, I doubt that God is going to, have that stay with you. I think that, the things that are wrong with our body, God's going to improve, because there's no more disease, there's no more sickness in heaven. Even the tree of life is used for healing, and which makes you question, like, why would we even need the tree of life to heal? There must be something that we need healing. And so, I believe that we just have so much to look forward to. And I think it's going to be worth it. A scripture that kind of points to that is how our momentary affliction that we experience here is working for us an eternal weight of glory, which the Bible says cannot even be compared. Our light affliction, that God calls it, cannot be compared to the glory that we will have in heaven. The Bible describes that we will shine like the stars in the sky, some like the sun. And so, it's going to be amazing. And so our room in heaven, maybe there will be television in heaven, or something like a television. We already know there's books in heaven. I don't think heaven is going to be boring. The chair or the couch that we have, it's probably going to be, the most comfortable thing that we even have, where we can sit for hours and not feel, there's no more pain, so we're not going to feel that tiredness even in our bones from sitting for long periods of time. I don't even know if there's going to be sleep in heaven. The Bible does kind of indicate that there may not be, because it says that there's no night in the New Jerusalem. It all shines by the glory of God. And so I think we will do well in just knowing that, hey, if you put your faith in Jesus Christ, we are going to live forever, and it's not going to be like we're living now, where sometimes we feel as if, I don't want to continue on. We can feel so sad about life sometimes. No, we're going to be, I think, in heaven and wishing we had one more day, and we do. And it's going to be like that for all of eternity, where we're going to just want it to go on forever, and it will. When you have a good time and you're like, I just don't want this to end, or you have a good feeling within you and you just like, I don't want this to leave me. It's beyond our imagination when you really think about it, how we are here and we exist. And, it's sometimes mind-boggling that, wow, we're here, and yet we can live forever with God, and we're going to see God. And it really gets you excited. And so, hey, put your faith in Jesus Christ. We have so much to look forward to. And I think our room in heaven is just going to be something that never gets old. We're going to treasure it, and it's not a treasure that we can lose. Jesus said we should store up treasure for ourselves in heaven. And I think one of those treasures is our home, our home with God, that we're going to have for all of eternity. I don't think we can really grasp the word eternity, where it just never ends. Sometimes we don't know about that because, we live in an apartment maybe for 30 years or 20 years or 1 year or 2 years, or we live in a house for 30 years or 50 years, but then we move, or you pass on and you leave it to someone else. And so think about a place of your own that you can call home, your own space, and you'll have it for an eternity. And so we have so much to look forward to. So be encouraged, and thank you so much for listening. I will talk to you on the next one. See ya.